Shabbat shalom, everybody. So usually we begin our services with some singing, but tonight I wanted to offer a few words of explanation first. Jewish tradition tells us that on Shabbat we receive what's called a neshama yetera, an extra soul that multiplies our ability to experience and enjoy the gifts of Shabbat, the gifts of rest and joy that Shabbat offers us. As beautiful a day as today was, and this evening is, it is even more spiritually powerful for us because it's Shabbat. And tonight especially, even beyond the regular Neshama Yetera, we get an additional measure of blessing because it is Sisterhood Shabbat. So it is a delight to have so many members of Sisterhood here to help lead the service and to give us the opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate all of the ways that Sisterhood enhances not only the lives of its own participants, but our entire congregation and community. Through your educational programming, your social activities, your financial support for the congregation, your gifts and scholarships for our students, Sisterhood strengthens all of us, providing all of us with a neshama yetera that we get to enjoy every single day, whether it's Shabbat or not. So I want to start by offering my own personal gratitude to Sisterhood and each of its members for all that you do and all that you are. And I want to encourage any TCS woman who has not yet become an active participant of Sisterhood to do so. There are a couple of events coming up in June, so join in. And as my own personal tribute to Sisterhood, I decided that tonight's service would feature melodies by female composers. So anytime I am playing my guitar, that song was written by a woman. Some of them will be familiar, some of them may be new to you. Many of them are by Debbie Friedman, not all of them. And in fact, I want to start with a piece that is not by Debbie. The context of this song is that, as you may know, we are at the moment in this period of time called the Omer, which is the time between Passover and Shavuot. We count the days to move ourselves along that journey from liberation out of Egypt to revelation at Mount Sinai. Jewish tradition tells us to count those days, to consider those 7 weeks to be a period of preparation, to help ourselves not just move physically from Egypt to Sinai, from being slaves to being free to enter into the covenant, but also spiritually, to move from servitude to Pharaoh to service to God. And to help us on this spiritual path, it's customary in many Jewish communities to study during the Omer a section of the Talmud called Pirkei Avot, a collection of ethical teachings, moral wisdom teachings from our tradition. But instead of formally studying it, I want to sing a song that comes from Pirkei Avot, which truthfully is how I learned a lot of these songs, a lot of these texts to begin with, was through the music. So on your sheet that has 3 texts on it, there are 3 texts from Pirkei Avot. The one at the top is the one we're going to sing tonight. It is called Ve'ezehu, and it was written by a woman named Karen Eskovitz. She set it to music in 1982, which is a lot longer ago than it feels like it was. I know. I know this because I have a very vivid memory of learning it when I was a camper at Camp Eisner that summer. Anyway, the song in 1982 won the Nifty National Song Competition that year. So I hope that you will catch on to the melody and join in, or at least take the opportunity of our singing it to reflect on the wisdom that this text and maybe the others on the page contain while we're singing it. So the text at the top, Ve'ezehu chacham halomed mikol adam. Who is wise? Those who learn from each person. Ve'ezehu gibor hakovesh et yitzro. Who is mighty? Those who conquer the evil inclination. Ve'ezehu ashir hasameach bechalko. Who is rich? Those who rejoice in their portion. And there's one more word that's not on the sheet, and that's the word bumpadump. which is a very esoteric Hebrew word. It means bump-a-dump. So it goes like this. Ve'ezehu, ve'ezehu chacham, halomed, halomed mikol adam, ve'ezehu, ve'ezehu chacham, halomed, halomed mikol adam, ve'ezehu gibor hakovesh et yitro, ve'ezehu ashir hasameach bechelko, ve'ezehu, ve'ezehu chacham, halomed, halomed mikol adam, ve'ezehu, ve'ezehu chacham, halomed, halomed mikol adam, ve'ezehu gibor hakovesh et yitro, ve'ezehu ashir hasameach bechelko. Bam, ba-dum, bam, 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 ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, bam, 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 ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, bam, 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 ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, bam, 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 ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, ba-dum. Ve'ezehu, ve'ezehu chacham, halomed, halomed mikol adam, ve'ezehu chacham, ve'ezehu chacham. Now we are ready to light the Shabbat candles. So we have the tag team of Alyssa and Maggie leading us in lighting the candles. Okay. So the blessing is on page 301. Page 301 of the Siddur for the blessing. Read first.
Oh, read first. Okay. Another week of work is ended. Again, Shabbat brings welcome peace. We pause from our labors to let Shabbat give another dimension to our lives. These Shabbat candles are symbols of the holiness we seek. Their brightness dispels gloom and lights a path to faith and hope. Their glow reminds us of the sacred bonds that link us to our people over space and time. Their radiance summons us to fulfill our people's mission, to cast the light of freedom, justice, and peace upon all the world. There you go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. On page 13, we welcome the Shabbat angels of peace and joy. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Malachei Hasharet. Malachei Elyon. Mi Malach. Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Page 14.
A Sabbath prayer. Dear God, help us now to make this a new Shabbat. After noise, we seek quiet. After crowds of indifferent strangers, we seek to touch those we love. After concentration on work and responsibility, we seek freedom to meditate, to listen to our inward selves. We open our eyes to the hidden beauties and the infinite possibilities in the world you are creating. We break open the gates of the reservoirs of goodness and kindness in ourselves and in others. We reach toward one holy, perfect moment of Shabbat.
We turn to page 20, where we find the words to Psalm 29, the last line of the Hebrew, the line that means, Adonai will give strength to God's people. Adonai will bless all people with peace. Adonai oz la'amo yiten. Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai oz la'amo yiten. Adonai yevarech et amo. Adonai oz la'amo yiten. Adonai yevarech et amo. Shalom. Shalom. Adonai oz la'amo yiten. Adonai yevarech et amo. Adonai oz la'amo yiten. Adonai yevarech et amo. Ahava Shalom. Ahava Shalom. Adonai Os Le'amo Yiten. Adonai Yevarech et Amo. Adonai Os Le'amo Yiten. Adonai Yevarech et Amo. And now we are ready to welcome the Shabbat bride on page 21. Lecha Dodi, come my beloved, to greet the bride. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat, nekabela. Shamor v'zachor, בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פן שבת nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha. Merosh mikerem nesucha, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, Pene Shabbat nekabela, ya la 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 la. La 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 la. We stay standing as we turn to page 27. Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba B'alma divrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala bagala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'l'am me'amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei Kudshah b'richu le'la min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran belma v'imru amen. Page 28, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Can be seated.
Building a community. The rabbis reflected in Pirkei Avot, Ethics of the Sages, that the world and therefore community stands on three things: Torah study, avodah, prayer, and gemulat asadim, right action. The creation of community enables each person to be rooted in these three elements while building something much greater than themselves. We learn for the sake of learning, in order to grow on a deeper level. We reflect on where we are and where we might be going, in order to be connected to those around us. We seek justice and redemption and understand that we have a sacred obligation to transform the world. Our coming together this Shabbat is an opportunity to build sacred community by finding avenues for passionate study, prayer that is heartfelt and transformative, and action that impacts us all. Rabbi Yel.
One of those three things is study, Torah, and so on page 29, we give thanks for the gift of Torah, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Havta, Amcha Havta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadata, Otanu limadata. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochtenu uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 30. This is a melody for Shema by Debbie Friedman. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot ben einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Page 31, 6 lines from the top. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. V'ahavta ends, as we just chanted, with the words that mean, I, Adonai, am your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. The Torah tells us that at the last stage of leaving Egypt, the miraculous crossing of the Sea of Reeds, the Israelites, led by Moses, burst out into a song of joy and celebration, from which we get the words to Mi Chamocha. But the Torah goes on to say that Miriam, the prophet, led the women in rejoicing at this miracle with their own song, as well as with dance and drumming. Some scholars say that Miriam's song was actually the original song, from which the longer, more familiar song developed later. Debbie Friedman honored Miriam's song with her melody, which is on your other handout, and which we will also use for Mi Chamocha towards the end. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land? And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're going to dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osefele, nora tehilot, osefele. Malchutcha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam, lifnei Moshe, ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch, leolam va'ed. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. On page 34. Once freed, the Israelites were now able to keep Shabbat. V'shamru, on page 34, the people Israel should keep Shabbat. This also is a melody from Debbie. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam. Berit olam beini uven bnei Yisrael oti leolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i shavat shavat vayinafa shavat shavat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam. Berit olam beini uven bnei Yisrael oti leolam. Oti leolam. Oti, Oti le'olam. We come now to the Amidah, which begins on page 35b. We'll begin together on page 35b and then continue individually from there. If you wish to follow the liturgy of the Siddur, it goes through page 38, or you can look inside yourself for the prayers of your own heart and your own soul. And when you've had as much time as you'd like for your private prayers, you may be seated. But we begin by rising together on page 35b. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot, Umevi Goel Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Ufoked Umoshia Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ufoked Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye metim atah Rav lehoshia, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha ba'al gevurot umido melech memit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lachayot metim Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hametim, Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela, Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Ose shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Ose shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Ose shalom, the last lines of the Amidah. The Amidah ends, as most of our sections of prayer end, with prayers for peace. And so this is a good time for a reflection from Desmond Tutu about peace.
Peace for the children of God, O God, all Holy One. You are our Father and our Mother, and we are your children. Open our eyes and our hearts so that we may be able to discern your work in the universe and be able to see your features in every one of your children. May we learn that there are many paths, but all lead to you. Help us to know that you have created us for family, for togetherness, for peace, for gentleness, for compassion, for caring, for sharing. May we know that you want us to care for one another as those who know that they are sisters and brothers, members of the same family, your family, the human family. Help us to beat our swords into plowshares and our spears into pruning hooks, so that we may be able to live in peace and harmony, wiping away the tears from the eyes of those who are less fortunate than ourselves. And may we know war no more, as we strive to be what you want us to be, your children. Amen. Desmond Tutu.
Thank you, Rhonda. Continuing on the theme of peace. In 1973, an Israeli songwriter, Naomi Shemer, who is best known for her song, Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, right, Jerusalem of Gold, Naomi Shemer began to write a Hebrew version of the Beatles' song, Let It Be. But that October, of course, the Yom Kippur War broke out, and Shemer rewrote her song to become essentially a prayer for peace. With its imagery of a better, more hopeful future, it became the unofficial anthem of Israel for the 1973 war. Originally, it used the same melody as Let It Be, but the war inspired her to give it a new melody, which the Jerusalem Post quotes her as saying, reflected the sigh and distress of the war. But as Rabbi Jeff Salkin points out, the phrase let it be can mean two different things. It can either mean, leave it alone, it's fine the way it is, or it can mean, whatever I'm hoping for, let that come to be. Whereas Paul McCartney used the phrase let it be to indicate an acceptance of what is, In Naomi Shemer's usage, it's intended instead to express hope for what could be. Her song is called Lu Yehi, which does mean let there be, but might be better translated as if only. As her chorus says, Kol shenivakesh lu yehi, if only everything that we ask for would come to pass. And what is it that we ask for most fervently? Peace. The song also has a connection to the Torah portion that we read this week. This week, God tells Moses that the Israelites face two possible paths of consequences for their coming conduct, blessings or curses. Which path they take depends on how they act, victory or defeat, peace or war. Just as in 1973, when Naomi Shemer wrote this song, Israel is at war. And with Hamas still holding some 125 hostages for now 238 days, 34 weeks. I am particularly struck by her line in the third verse of the song, Ten lahem lashuv halom, allow them to return safely here. So we can say and sing with her, Lu Yehi, if only. May it be that we soon can choose the path of peace, victory, and blessing. So you have the words to Lu Yehi on this song sheet. It's the back of the one with Pirkei Avot on it. And I just want to take a moment to read through the translation so we know what it is that we're singing. There is still a white sail on the horizon, opposite a heavy black cloud. All that we ask for, may it be. And if in the evening windows the light of the holiday candles flickers, all that we seek, may it be. May it be, may it be. Please, may it be. All that we seek, may it be. What is the sound that I hear? The cry of the shofar and the sound of drums. All that we ask for, may it be. If only there can be heard within all this one prayer from my lips also, all that we seek, may it be. Within a small shaded neighborhood is a small house with a red roof. All that we ask for, may it be. This is the end of summer, the end of the path. Allow them to return safely here. All that we seek, may it be. And if suddenly, rising from the darkness, over our heads the light of a star shines, all that we ask for, may it be. Then grant tranquility and also grant strength to all those we love. All that we seek, may it be. So I want to try to teach you the chorus. The words are Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi, Kol Shenivakesh Lu Yehi. So I'll sing a little bit and you'll sing it back. Lu Yehi, try just that. Lu Yehi, listen, Ana Lu Yehi, try that. Ana Lu Yehi, listen, Kol Shenivakesh Lu Yehi, try that. Kol Shenivakesh Lu Yehi, let's try just that part. Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi, Kol Shenivakesh Lu Yehi. The next part is the same as that, except it goes down at the end. It goes like this. Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi, Kol Shenivakesh Lu Yehi. Goes down at the end. Let's try that. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Let's try the whole chorus. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. That's it. Od yesh mifras lavan ba'ofek mul anan shachor kaved. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Ve'im b'chalonot ha'erev or nerotecha groed. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Ready? Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Ma kol anot ani shomea, kol shofar ve'kol tupim. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Lu tishama betoch kol ele, gam tefila achat mipi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Betoch shchuna ktana mutzelet, bayit kat im gag adom. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Ze sof hakayit, sof haderech, ten lahem lashuv halom. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Ve'im pitom yizrach me'ofel al roshenu or kochav. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. As ten shalva ve'ten gam shkoach al chole leshenohav. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi, Ana Lu Yehi. Kol Shenevakesh, Lu Yehi. We turn our thoughts now to our loved ones and friends who are ill, those who are struggling physically or spiritually or emotionally. Tonight in our TCS family, we think particularly of Rick Albertini, Phyllis Burke, Arthur Campbell, Phyllis Dillon, Valerie Frank, Jennifer Galvin, David Glazer, Carolyn Halunin, Cheryl Leahy, Nancy Mayer, Paul Newfield, Sarah Newfield, Mark Panasek, Gail Rosenberg, Cindy Sherman, Sheila Wagner, Yonina bat David HaKohen v'Sara, Esther bat Chaim v'Goldi, Rela bat Moshe Haskell u'Fega Leah, Fegi bat Shlomo Nisan Halevi. If there's someone for whom you are particularly concerned tonight, whose name you'd like to say aloud, I invite you to do so now. We hold all of our friends and loved ones in our hearts as we turn to the inside back cover of the Siddur for Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu, may the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. In addition to being Shabbat and Sisterhood Shabbat, this is also the last Shabbat of the month in the Jewish calendar, so there is a special blessing that we say to welcome the month that begins this week. We find the blessing on page 150 of the Siddur. Let's read together in English. May it be your will, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, to reawaken in us joy and blessing in the month ahead. Grant us a long life, a peaceful life with goodness and blessing, sustenance and physical vitality, a life of reverence and piety, a life free from shame and reproach, a life of abundance and honor, a reverent life guided by the love of Torah, a life in which our worthy aspirations will be fulfilled. Amen. May God, who wrought miracles for our ancestors, redeeming them from slavery to freedom, redeem us soon and gather our dispersed from the four corners of the earth in the fellowship of the entire people Israel. And let us say, Amen. Rosh Chodesh Sivan Yihya B'Yom Shishi Haba Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael L'Tova. The new month of Sivan will begin Thursday night. May it hold blessing for us and for all the people Israel. Yechadshehu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Aleinu V'al Kol Amo Beit Yisrael L'Chaim U'L'Shalom L'Sason U'L'Simcha L'Shua U'L'Nechama B'Nomar Amen. Together in English, may the Holy One bless this new month for us and for all God's people, the house of Israel, with life and peace, joy and deliverance and consolation. And let us say, Amen. It is now my pleasure to call on, oh, sorry, was that enough warning? You want me to give you a little more? Okay. To call on Rachel Colchimuro, President of Sisterhood. Yeah. Don't worry, I didn't forget.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh,
So I'm going to do back to This week's portion is Bachutachai, the end of the book of Leviticus. And the portion describes the blessings and curses, as the rabbi mentioned, that come to the Israelite people if they follow or depart from God's mitzvot. So it says, if you follow my laws and faithfully observe my commandments, I will grant you rains in season, so that the earth shall yield its produce and the trees of the field their fruit. But if you do not obey me and do not observe all these commandments, if you reject my laws and spurn my rules, and you break my covenant, I will wreak misery upon you, consumption and fever, which cause the eyes to pine and the body to languish. You shall sow your seed to no purpose, for your enemies shall eat it. So this teaching of blessings and curses instructed the Israelites that all actions matter and that there were consequences to their behavior. This message in the portion is written in the plural. The community is blessed and the community is cursed. I read another Devar Torah by Rabbi Mickelberg he's from Winnipeg, and he actually is someone that everybody knows, which I didn't know when I wrote this. But he suggested that one sentiment we can take from this is that even in despair, or of course in times of happiness, we're never alone. Our actions matter, and the values of our community ensure that we stay strong and blessed. I was also talking with the rabbi about this, what I should talk about, and he said we could talk about what happens when you finish one book of the Torah and you move to the next one. So it's tradition to recite Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazak when we finish reading a book of the Torah before we start the next one, and we'll do that this week. It means be strong, we will strengthen one another. And that seemed to me to be an opportune phrase for our sisterhood Shabbat, because Chazak has multiple meanings. It means to be bound to be attached to preserve, to strengthen, to have courage, to hold fast, to encourage, to retain or keep, to prove helpful, and to uphold. And each of these meanings relates to what TCS Sisterhood means to me and what we want it to be for our members and what it offers our larger community. So I wanted to thank our board members this year for helping, encouraging, and strengthening one another and keeping me connected to Sisterhood and our synagogue. And soon some of our board members will be transitioning into other roles or coming off the board entirely, and new members will be joining us in July. And I'm just so grateful for everyone's hard work and dedication. I'm looking forward to working together for another exciting year of programming and fun and meaningful events, and for our sisterhood and for our community. So Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazak. So let's be strong together, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Asher Koach, Rachel. Beautiful. Thank you. Just as we look forward to a continued bright future for sisterhood, our service looks forward to a bright future for the entire world. Page 51, we rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula liotzer breishi, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei Malach, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim v'Yosed Aretz, Umoshav Yekaro Bashamayim Mimal, Ushchinatu Zo, Begavhe Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Ein Od, Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato, Kakatuv Betorato, V'yadata Hayom V'hashevota El Levavecha. Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim, Bashamayim Mimal, ועל הארץ ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Please be seated. As we prepare for Kaddish, we recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. Tonight we especially remember Jane Dunlap and Joseph Slavitt, the father of Amy Glazer, for whom we are still in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. And our congregational family remembers with special affection our loved ones whose yahrzeit will occur this coming week. Haskell Shapiro, father of Michelle Hart, Max Levine, father of Lou Levine, Marcia Rothberg, mother of David Rothberg, Sabine Glazer, mother-in-law of Amy Glazer, Samuel Glazer, father of Sandra Glazer, Michael Jacobs, son of Howard and Esta Jacobs, Helen Kravitz, mother of Ben Kravitz, Isabel Kamenson, sister of Myra Lapidus, Roberta Sherbako, sister of Paula Kaczynski. And we remember as well all those killed on and since October 7th as a result of the Hamas attack on Israel. If you are remembering someone this evening, we invite you to say that person's name aloud now. Zichronam livracha. May the memories of all our dear ones be a blessing. If you're saying Kaddish in someone's memory tonight, we ask you to rise now. In loving support of the mourners, we rise as a congregation. In gratitude to God for the gift of the lives of their loved ones, those who are in mourning and those remembering someone, say Kaddish on page 52. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'izman kariv imru amen, yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen, yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort all of the bereaved. And we say, Amen. Please be seated. Jen, actually, it's time for announcements. Our president-elect.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So tomorrow we have Torah study at 9 a.m. With Rabbi Carr. Oh, and a new Mishaberach list starts next Friday, so please be sure to get any names or dates or anybody who should come off the list tomorrow. Tomorrow we also have Havdalah services at 7 p.m. Next Thursday is Tucci Talk with Rabbi Ken from 11:30 to 1. It's informal learning over lunch at Bertucci's in Mansfield Crossing. Each session is organized around a theme, something in the news or relevant on the Jewish calendar. Please RSVP now for Shabbat in the Park at Borderland Park. That's going to be Friday, June 7th. That's next Friday.
Next Friday.
Bring your friends and family. We have Tot Shabbat at 4:45. We have pizza and a potluck dinner at 5:30, and the service at 6:30, and free ice cream from Sweet 16 after. Details are in your weekly email and your flyer. Family table needs our help every month. 30 cans of tuna and 30 cans of vegetarian soup. If you would like to donate money to Family Table monthly instead of bringing food, there's a link to do that in your weekly email. And spring cleaning, clean out your closets. Greater Attleboro Area Council for Children is collecting clothes, shoes, scarves, handbags, wallets, fashion accessory, belts, backpacks, books, etc., and household textiles. Bedding, comforters, blankets, sheets, towels, linen, tablecloths, curtains, pillows, anything at all. It even can have holes in it, just make sure it's clean. Bring your donations in plastic bags to TCS, and of course, Sandy will always pick them up and take them where they need to go. Our fearless leader in this area. Please remember to take flyers with more information in the foyer. There's printouts for everything, and check your weekly emails on Mondays and all your special notices. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. I was just about to say, two thank yous about next week's Shabbat in the Park. First of all, to Sisterhood for paying for the parking for people who RSVP. So you have to RSVP to be on the list for the parking. So make sure you go on the Sign Up Genius and RSVP that you're coming and that you want a parking pass. And the second thank you for next Friday is to Libby and David Reichman. They are why the ice cream is free. They are paying for Sweet 16 for us. So I also want to mention two other things. One is that two other services, I should say. On Tuesday, June 11th, that is Shavuot, the start of Shavuot, and also confirmation. We have 3 awesome 10th graders who are being confirmed this year, and it's really one of my. I love every service. Okay, but some are more equal than others. I love the confirmation service. It's really one of my favorites of the year. So that is Tuesday the 11th at 7 o'clock. And then that Friday, June 14th, is our board installation when Jen will be installed as president, and our other board members and board members and officers will be installed into their roles. It is also Volunteer Appreciation Shabbat. So anybody who volunteers in any capacity, which I think is most of you in this room, we want to be able to appreciate you, especially on that Friday, June 14th at 7:30. Right, there's a flyer in the foyer, and it's in the email as well. That there's a on June 23rd, I think. It's Colleen, somebody I can't remember her last name. Right, a singer is coming to sing for us. So, right, yep. Details on the flyers and in the emails. So, yep, great. Open to all. Right, it is not just a seniors event, right? It's for everybody, right? Okay, good. Okay, our final song tonight is in the Siddur supplement on page 10. It is a song of blessing. It is derived from Genesis chapter 12, when God tells Abram and Sarah to follow God and go off to the land that God will show them and be a blessing. Lech Lecha is the original in the Torah. Debbie Friedman reworked it into the feminine to say Lechi Lach. Again, go forward and be a blessing. Lechi Lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will bless you. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha. And all shall praise your name. Lechi lach. To the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim. L'simchat chayim. L'simchat chayim. Lechi lach. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. On page 55 of the Siddur, as I mentioned at the beginning of the service, and as you may recall, we are in the Omer, on the journey from Egypt to Sinai, and we are told to count the days. So on page 55 at the bottom of the page is the blessing for counting the Omer, and then the counting for this particular day is on page 59. Today, the day that we are ending this evening, was day 38. We're going to count the day after 38 to start this new day that begins this evening. So because we are on the journey, it's easier to journey when we're standing, so I'll invite you to rise. As we say, we'll say the blessing on page 55, and then the counting on page 59. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer hayom tisha u'shloshim yom shehem chamisha shavuot v'arba'a yamim la'omer. Today is 39 days, which are 5 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. On page 49 in the Siddur is Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'shit ki hu yom techila lemikrahei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta Anu kidashta mikol hamim Shabbat kodshecha va'uvratzon hinchaltanu Chata Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Thank you again, sisterhood.